bear with me while I adjust this. Lockwood is a champion. Hope everybody's doing okay. I wanted to do a live video for a while, and probably didn't want to start it this late at night, but I wanted to just share my thoughts, and hopefully people will come in and visit and things like that. So thank you for catching up, and thank you for tuning in if you are going to watch this. Thank you for tuning in eventually. I know people will watch this after. Right now it's really hot. I've got a fan going. It's really good, small portable fan, doesn't make a whole heap of noise, doesn't interfere with the sound of the video, which is cool. I want to thank everybody who is watching my videos. I got something like 3 hours of watch time yesterday, which is awesome. Hello, new viewer. Please consider subscribing or leaving a comment if you aren't subscribed. Let me know what's going on in your neck of the woods. I'm just thanking my existing subscribers for coming in and supporting me and things like that. It's been very hot lately, and it got up to about 40 degrees Celsius yesterday. Today it was still warm, but stayed at home and just caught up on a lot of stuff that I need to do around the house and things like that. My subscriber numbers are going up and down, and I can't figure out why. I haven't uploaded a video in a couple of days. It's been really hot, and the last video was not offensive at all. I was talking about teaching somebody like English, and I was talking about how hot it was, and it was only just a very short video. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening with subscriber behavior, why people are coming in and then unsubscribing. I wish people would watch a few videos and then decide to subscribe to a channel. It would make life a whole lot easier. Hello, whoever that second person is, thank you for watching. And yeah, so I thought I'd go live because I know that the longer I stay on here, the more watch hours I get. But yesterday, without going live or anything like that, I hadn't uploaded a video. Oh, 6 people in here, that's awesome. Thank you very much for tuning in. I had 3 hours of watch time without a live video. I hadn't uploaded a video in a couple of days. The last few days have been like 40 degrees Celsius. So that's over, I think it's at least 102 Fahrenheit. I don't have the conversion with me, but it was really hot. I've had to use a, hello, 11 people. Had to use a fan just to keep myself cool. I got it going now, and these are cool because they don't interfere with the audio of the recording. So thank you everybody that's sticking around. How is things? Let me know in the comments what you've been up to and all that sort of stuff. Can you hear me? That's a big thing too. I'm not sure. 11 viewers again, which is awesome. Thank you very much. And if you've got any topics talking about Australia or Adelaide and things like that, I'm more than welcome to talk about them. Right now I picked up a client to teach them English, and it's unpaid. It's just like a voluntary thing at the moment. Hello there, Salcat. So I'm helping somebody with their English lessons, with Australian sort of English. I'm doing pretty well. It's very hot here, but I'm doing really well. And good to see you aboard. Hope you're doing well. Where are you in the world, and what time is it there, and what temperature is it? So today was just a bit of a relaxation day for me. It's still very hot here, so I couldn't do a whole lot, but decided to stay home and just tidy up my place a bit. Hello to everybody that's coming in, and let me know what's going on in your neck of the woods. Let me know where you are. Keep doing. One day you grow up. Oh, that's funny. And where are you from? But yeah, Oh, from India. Okay, that's pretty cool. So I've got 2 thumbs up on this already, which is awesome. Thank you very much for that. And so is it very, very hot in India? I heard that it can get very, very hot there. Um, yeah, so I'm working this weekend, and I've got work set for all of next week, which is really, really good too. I was a bit worried there for a little bit. I'm from Adelaide, South Australia. Oh, 3 thumbs up. Thank you very much for those of you who are liking the video. It's been a while since I've done a live video, but I am experienced with them. Let me know where you're from if you're coming in. Now, I know India is a very large place. So which city within India are you from? And I know there's a lot of different languages in India, like not like different dialects within. I'm guessing Hindi is the main official language, but there are different languages depending on which sort of area of India you're in. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Come out of India. Message retracted. So hello there for the guy that's in Aldinga Beach. That's pretty cool. Are you enjoying the heat, or are you avoiding it like I am? Ah, come to India. Come your India. Which part of India are you from? So for the person that's in Aldinga Beach, I'm in the northern suburbs of Adelaide in Salisbury, West Bengal. Interesting. I'll have to look that up after. It sounds pretty cool. But yeah, right now I'm just testing the live feature function and things like that. So you can hear me, which is good. And yeah. So is there any good movies or anything? You're avoiding the heat, yeah. Okay, bye. So have a good day. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for giving the likes and all that sort of stuff. Have a good day in West Bengal. Yeah, a very interesting place. It's a very small world sometimes. Yeah, I've been avoiding the heat too. I had someone leave a comment on my last video about me not wearing sunscreen, but I was only outside for like 15 minutes or so. I spent all day inside up at Tea Tree Plaza teaching like a Chinese guy English, and yeah, thank you for all the love hearts as well. That's really awesome. Yeah, so teaching him English, and like the Australian form of English, because it's not like a correct English. You know, a correct English would be saying something like, "Hello there, how are you?" Whereas like the Australian English would be, "G'day, how you going?" Like it's not "how are you going," it's "how you going," and slang and stuff like that. But I also taught him how to just change his speech patterns a little bit so he's a little bit more easily understood, but not in an insulting way, in a way that he could practice, just slowing down and elongating some of the vowel sounds that we make. Like A is like an A, rather than just A, as A, and things like that. But it's good to meet people on here, find out what people are doing, where people are. It's currently 10:17 p.m. here in Adelaide, South Australia. And I've got a few videos talking about Adelaide, and I want to do more. The last major one was the South Australian Museum, and I want to do the zoo as well. I worked at the zoo when? It was during the week, and it was Saturday, I think. Yeah, Saturday, and there was just a function for a business. One of the electrical companies had a barbecue for their employees, and my job was just to serve them like cans of drink and stuff like that, like soft drink, because it was like a family event, so there was no alcohol. But it was pretty cool, pretty fun. And I want to say thank you to everybody who has tuned in and is still watching. I know this is fairly late for some people, and I know there are people that are going to be upset that they've missed this, but I'm just doing a bit of a rundown of like what I've been up to. And yeah, work slowly picking up, slowly but surely picking up. I've got work on the weekend, like Friday, Saturday. I might have another job lined up for Sunday, and then I'm gearing up for the Live Golf event, where I'll be working behind a bar and doing stuff like that. Be interesting, very interesting indeed. The botanical gardens, yes, I've got 2 videos on my channel about the botanical gardens. One of the videos is 19 minutes long. Now, a lot of people didn't watch that video, but towards the end of the video, you actually see the ibis, the bin chickens, nesting in trees and stuff. And when they're feeding their young, the young ibis, they make like a duck quacking sound. And it's amazing. Like if I was to tell people that, they wouldn't believe me. But I got it on video, but it's in a 19-minute video. But nobody wants to watch 19 minutes of a video, so I'll have to find a way of like downloading that video, isolating that part, and then re-uploading it somewhere else. But I know that you can't monetize a YouTube channel if you are reusing footage, which is a shame. But yeah, I'm glad that yesterday I had like three hours of watch time, which was amazing. And yeah, the botanical gardens is amazing. I was working there. No, I was working at the zoo, but I sometimes work at the botanical gardens for one of the hospitality companies here in Adelaide, and they do parties and events, and the job is just serving like canapes and holding a drink tray, sometimes just walking around handing out different little edible, they call them canape, but edible little arancini and beetroot tartare and various little nibble kind of meals. They do functions, weddings and things within the botanical gardens, and the wine centre, which is like part of the botanical gardens, is just next to it, and the Adelaide Zoo is fairly close to it as well. So let's see, I am going to okay, no, it won't let me do that just yet. I can't do that while I'm live. I was going to subscribe to your channel, but I can't do that just yet. But if you subscribe to my channel, I'll sub back. That'll probably be the best way of doing things. Vantage. So where are you working at the moment? I'm currently doing random, don't worry about it. So I'm doing random hospitality gigs at the moment. Sometimes a bit of manual labour. I use an app called Sidekicker that gets different jobs and things. No, we'll subscribe. Okay, cool. Thank you. So I've got 7 people in here, which is cool. Thank you very much, everybody. Yeah, so it's been fairly hot. I've said that before. And I want to thank everybody who is subscribing to the channel, coming in, leaving thumbs up and all that sort of stuff. It's really cool. It is Tuesday night. I've put my bins out ready, and I'm just basically procrastinating. I've got housework to do, and I'm just on here just finding out what's going on. And I had some really weird subscriber activity. I'm up to around about 110. Greetings from southeastern New South Wales. Thunderstorm just dropped the temperature from 33 degrees to 23 degrees. Oh, hey. Hello, Sluggo57. That's pretty awesome to get a temperature drop like this. It was 40 degrees Celsius here a couple of days ago, and I've got a little portable mini fan. It's USB. You plug it in, and it uses just a normal Samsung phone cord. No worries at all. Lasts a while too. So you could plug that into like a solar panel. No worries at all. And I do need to get some solar panels, like the larger ones. Yeah, the museum one was pretty good. Didn't get that many views, but it was a longer video, so it does help the channel out a little bit. I've got to do one about the O-Bahn. Somebody asked for a video about the O-Bahn. But I think that the footage, like, even though I think that the entire trip of the O-Bahn is only like 10 minutes total, but like it's just me shooting out the window and occasionally like showing the middle of the bus. But I want to intersperse it with like facts and things and some maps and things, so it's broken up a little bit. But I think that the actual footage, it has to be the boring view out of the window, like while you're going along. But I don't know whether to split the video, because as it is, it's about 13 minutes long. And I was talking about how, like, someone had asked whether I've ever been to the Botanical Gardens, and I've been there twice in terms of YouTube videos. I've been working there on and off different hospitality jobs, but I've got the second Botanical Gardens video is 19 minutes long, and I got footage of the ibis, you know, the bin chickens. They're nesting in trees and stuff, and when they're feeding their young, they actually sound like ducks. They actually quack like ducks. But it's one of those crazy things that if I told you that, you wouldn't believe it. But I've got evidence of it in a video that nobody wants to watch. Well, the Indigenous room had a lot of stuff, but they were playing video, and there were also security guards walking around, so I didn't want to get caught filming. Like, I know I probably could have filmed in there, but I didn't want to take the risk too much. I showed the entire Egyptian room. The only thing I didn't show was the sarcophagus, the sarcophagi. Jeez, that'll get me banned saying that. You know, the caskets. But I did most of the little cartoon things that they have on the wall, and I showed the Rosetta Stone. Yeah, seagulls sound like ducks too. Yeah, it was a fairly interesting trip. There were rooms that I didn't show. I didn't show the room with the meteorites, the room with all the different gemstones and stuff like that. There's another one where they were talking about, I can't remember the guy's name. They did all the Arctic adventures and stuff like that. Yeah, I can't remember his name. But yeah, like all the Arctic stuff, there was that. There's a room for that. There's the indigenous stuff. I felt, because some of it was video, and I didn't want to have the audio leak into here. Um, but also the as part of being respectful to indigenous culture, I didn't want to show footage of people that are deceased or passed away, and there's images of those people like all through it. What else? There was lots of stuff, but I stopped recording. I'd run out of time anyway, but also because I'm always worried about video length, because I go through the stats, and if I do a 4-minute video, the average watch time is about 2 minutes. If I do a 10-minute video, the average watch time is 2 minutes. There's a video that's only like 3 minutes long. Most museums encourage photography. Sir Douglas Mawson display. Yeah, that's them. It shows you the hut of where they live or lived in the but also shows you they've got like a little diorama of what that actually made, the actual outside of it, and it's actually quite impressive when you stop and think about the conditions that they were working under. What else? There's the space display as well. That's with all the meteorites, but it's also got like the Adelaide astronaut, his spacesuit. It's actually a lot smaller than what I thought it would be. And I think now, logically, when you think about it, it's a lot tighter for like, it has to contain oxygen, but it also has to not impede your movement while you're bouncing around on the moon and stuff, and in space and doing spacewalks and whatnot. Andrew Thomas, yeah, I knew his name was Andrew. I just didn't remember his surname. Yeah, so that was kind of him to donate his. Oh, then they had like the fossil displays, and his one room was just all like riverbanks and like seabeds, and it sort of explains where they get the ideas of like evolution and not so much evolution, but the evidence of why they think the way they think, and things like that. So that's always cool. But yeah. Yeah, and I'm getting this close to needing to have to go back on Centrelink. I don't want to, but we'll see what happens. There's a bit of a waiting list or waiting period, but I do have work coming up. A couple of hospitality gigs, and then there's Live Golf. I've mentioned that before. But yeah. So what are you up to, Lee? So yeah. Does Cleveland Wildlife Park still have koalas? I'm not sure. I'd have to Google that. Cleveland. Koalas are. I think they're endangered. So I'm not sure. Of course, just to be a pain. I'm not sure about that one. But I met someone once who worked for like a koala rescue, and they sometimes will find them in the koalas in the trees in suburbia. So they rescue them, and they rescue the little babies, and they are really, really cute. They're only like about this big. Actually, that was an exaggeration. They're fairly big. You can put them in your hand, the babies. But that's one I have to ask Siri about. Oh, that's the wrong one. I'm just recharging another iPad. I have multiple. When you have a friend that's an app specialist, an Apple specialist, it comes in handy for getting secondhand stuff. Yeah. What else was there? Yeah, so I've got to do stuff for the Oban. I need to do stuff more around Adelaide. I know there's, what I find funny is there are tourist videos, right? And they come to Adelaide for 3 days, and they'll just do like the Central Market and the touristy spots, right? And they'll get like thousands of views on their videos. And then there's a guy I found who was doing a series on all the notorious suburbs of Adelaide, and he is getting like thousands upon thousands of views for his videos, but they're more like, they're not touristy stuff. That's like, let's go into the most feral areas I can imagine, and he'll go off and interview drug addicts and stuff like that, and ask them about all the crime and stuff, and he'll show all the rundown buildings, and more power to him. If that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. Freedom of speech and all that sort of stuff. But I find it sort of interesting that like people will gravitate to that sort of stuff. It's like, oh, at least I don't live there, kind of mentality. They want to rubbish other suburbs, and I was never really interested in doing that. I wanted to show off like Adelaide at its best, but not exaggerate as well. But just give people like a real life look at what Adelaide is really like, but not rubbish it at the same time. So if I was to highlight an area that did need improving, it would be with the goal of improving it, right? Rather than saying, well, look at this area, it's feral, and it will stay feral. I think if you're going to highlight an area that's not very good, it should be for the purpose of saying these need new roads, or these needs redevelopment or something like that, because governments and councils will spend money if there's a benefit to them personally. And I know that some suburbs have had redevelopment and things like that. So it can be very beneficial. Now, okay. So I'm going to cheat a little bit and say, hey Siri, does Cleveland Wildlife Park still have koalas? And then Siri's not going to answer me. And that's going to be very, very embarrassing, isn't it? Hey Siri. Hey Siri, do you speak English? Hey Siri, do you need hearing aids? What always gives me a laugh if I say, hey Google, and then say, hey Siri, and they start fighting each other. But yeah, I've got no idea. I'll have to look that up manually, I think. So welcome aboard the person that came back, or whether it was a new person, I don't know. But yeah, we're just talking about the Adelaide surrounds and highlights and things like that. Oh, I didn't mention I'm working at the Adelaide Oval during this sporting event, and right now they've just finished they're just finishing the cricket season, and then football season starts hopefully at the beginning of March, and hopefully that'll be regular work every week. Another thing that I do with my YouTube channel, I'm going to start asking video-based questions of people in certain areas. So I'm hoping that I can get what YouTube used to be, like what it used to be. You could actually do video responses. Now you can do them, you can tag people in them, but YouTube was funny, right? They tried to veer away from the YouTube community, like all the smaller channels they're just uploading video of themselves. They were just vlogging, or they were just saying hello, how are you going, and talking about where they lived. And you could do video responses to videos, and then YouTube got rid of them. And then they pushed all these other like bigger YouTubers who were fairly toxic. And then people just went, well, we just want a video platform where we can share videos and do video responses. And then TikTok came along, and people would like doing video responses, and you could have like a chain of videos of people just like replying to each other over and over and over and over and over again. So of course YouTube went, oops, we made a mistake. So now they're switching back to these vertical videos like this one, and you can do like pretty much like a TikTok video now with this if I invite the right people. So they're scrambling sort of to go backwards, and because they started beginning to realize that the bigger people that they were pushing were sort of pushing a little bit too close to 1938 Germany. So, but I think that happens at times. Still have, and I've got no idea, but my phone is going mental. But my phone's in the lounge room being recharged at the moment. Question mark. Yep, the Cleveland Wildlife Park still has koalas. So there we go. And it took me forever to... yeah, well, I just Googled it then. Yeah, wallabies, potoroos and wombats might be worth a visit. That and Mount Lofty with its panoramic views of Adelaide. Yeah, some of these places aren't easy to get to. This experience... so the koala close-up is only open from 11 a.m. till 12 p.m. But I'll see what I can do. I also want to go up to, Jesus, that's a 2-hour bus trip. Middle of nowhere. But we'll see. I'll definitely add that to the list. And Mount Lofty is another one that's a long way away too. Yeah, but I mean it's cool. Good. I wanted this my YouTube channel to go back to what I originally intended. Um, Interesting. Interesting. Um, Actually, that's not right. Oh, okay. So the Cleveland Wildlife Park is only it's only a couple of kilometres away from Mount Lofty. Interesting. So okay. Change that. Go from there. Yeah, but that is pretty cool. I can get quite a bit of footage out of that, I think. Okay, so I'm just going to put this down for a second, and I'm just going to see what happens if I do that. Weird. Oh, that was in PM. No. I want to go 8 a.m. Okay, that's silly. Silly Google Maps won't do what I want it to do. But yeah, the view from Mount Lofty is pretty good. I can take photos and use them on different platforms and things. That's pretty awesome. But yeah, I've got a whole heap of videos that I just have to edit together. I had one video where actually I'm going to no, I can wait a little bit. I had one video. It's got 20 views on it, but nobody left a comment. And then I went, okay, I'll change the thumbnail. So I changed the thumbnail, and it got a few more views, but nobody left a comment on it. And it's just strange. But then yesterday I had like over 3 hours of watch time across the channel, so that's pretty interesting too. But I think the idea with YouTube is just to keep going with it. My original intention was just to prove that, like, there's a lot of people saying that YouTube was all easy now, and I wanted basically to disprove them. And then they were saying things like it's easy, it's geared up for people on over 40 and stuff like that. And now there's obviously more people over 40 watching YouTube now, but to think that it's somehow easier for them to come on YouTube and then be a success when it's when most of these social media platforms are designed for teenagers and stuff. Oh, someone's left me a message. Um, yeah, someone was commenting about my video about oh no, I uploaded a video elsewhere, just where I was talking about the Moles balls in Rundle Mall, how they're pretty much the same age as I am. But yeah, I'll have to double check that. Hey Siri. No, it doesn't want to talk to me. Doesn't want to talk to me at all. So how have you been anyway? How's your health? So do you have any plans for tomorrow? Tomorrow will be a day off, I think. But if there's work going, I'll apply for it. I applied for a job today, like one of these. It's a company that I've worked for before, and they just wanted like the 1 day of work. I applied for it, and then they chose somebody else, which was a pain in the butt. But yeah. But then they offered like Saturday and Sunday shifts in the morning. Sunday will be all day. Saturday will be in the morning, and then I've got a shift out at Morphettville Racecourse. So just doing hospitality stuff there. Yeah, pretty cool. And then yeah, I've pretty much got work every day next week. I get paid for the last few weeks on Thursday, so that'll be a bit of less of a panic, getting a bit of money coming in. I am thinking about going back on welfare. I know that upsets a lot of people, but there just isn't a workaround, and there is a waiting period, and I'm not sure how long it is, but I know it's like at least a month. Wow, see, as soon as I said welfare, I lost like 4 viewers at once. So, you know, I need to find work. Right now I'm just coasting, just making sure I can pay my rent. I've got a little bit of savings, but it's not a whole lot. And I do have a whole heap of goals and things that I want to achieve this year. But that's all money. Like things like renewing my passport. They boosted the cost of passports to $412, and that's just to renew it. Yeah, wasn't particularly impressed by that. But that's a setback as well. But I know that I'll be able to do it. It's just a matter of when I can do it safely, and all that sort of stuff. But work has to pick up. Yeah, politics in America has gone mental, absolutely mental. And a lot of my American friends are really, really worried with all the tariff talk and stuff like that. And I don't know whether those tariffs are still going to go ahead, or whether all the threats of retaliation have made Trump pull his head in and change things. But there's people saying that it has. But yeah, Elon's playing funny buggers and stuff. Oh, and I did a shift at the Adelaide Zoo, like one of the hospitality shifts that I was talking about before. And when the sun goes down, they've got a whole heap of fruit bats right near the main entrance of the Adelaide Zoo. Yeah. Yeah. That's good to hear. Oh, I had your final eye up a few days before Christmas. That's all good. That's all good. I Yeah. Anyway, I was telling the story how like I was filming some bats, and there's bats everywhere. These flying fox bats, and they're primarily nocturnal. They'll be awake during the day. Excuse me, like I am. But anyway, I'm filming them, thinking, oh, this is awesome. Next minute, I feel something on my wrist. Look down, there's a big brown splotch. I was like, oh no, and then they started pooing. I was just like, yuck. And I'm wearing my nice white hospitality shirt. It's like, yeah, no, I'm getting out of here. But yeah, you got to tell all these funny stories sometimes. But yeah, and going live is really good for getting the watch hours. So YouTube did this thing about 6 years ago when I was talking about like the YouTube community. What happened was, and I'm gonna unplug this mic. I'm going to plug in the recharge for the phone. What happened was they introduced this 1,000 hours and no, 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time within a 365-day period thing if you wanted to still be monetized. And they demonetized my other channel. House with hot, hover and poop on you on purpose, chicken size, yeah. And sulfur crusted cockatoos will throw stones at you. They'll fly over and throw rocks, drop rocks. And yeah, it's crazy. But sorry, there's all stuff that's slowly going on, slowly coming together. I've got a list of things that I want to do, things that I need to do in order to get some of the things that I want to do. Like I've got a pen friend in the UK. And the okay, Google. Okay, that's what I was looking at. Anyway, she said that like she's getting sicker and sicker. And she's saying that she'll need like a carer sort of thing. So she's offered me work to go there and help clean her unit and stuff like that. October. Okay, so the Moles Balls was it was unveiled 5th of October 1977. Sorry, I was 4 years old. 1907. But yeah, so in order to get to the UK, I'm going to need a passport. Now, there's talk of this needing new electronic passports, so that's an interesting one as well. Another thing with these YouTube lives, you used to be able to do Google Hangouts and stuff, and I know that you can do multiple people if you do the video, horizontal, and yeah, that'd be interesting to see and do. I'm just trying to get 8 people to do it at once. The people that I used to do the Google Hangouts with, we become really good friends, but now everybody's sort of fractured on different platforms, so it's difficult to get people to come back and coordinate and stuff like that. But once again, hello to all the new viewers coming in. It's great to see you. Even as it's only 4 people, but you guys are amazing. I've been here for 52 minutes, pretty much. And yeah, just recounting my week, my day. Just trying to find ways to stay out of the heat. Like 40 degrees Celsius is not fun. And yeah, but yeah, thank you for the tips, the ideas, and inspiration for new places I need to go to, just to talk about. I want to go to Minato Zoo, but there's no public transport out there. And you'd think, with it being like a major tourist location, that there'd be public transport out to Minato Zoo. It does not make sense that it's not out there. I can always look it up again, but so I lost a couple of videos. But yeah, I want to say thank you for everybody that stuck around for this long. What you're doing is really helping with the watch time of the channel, because you need like 4,000 hours of watch time in order to be monetized. And you say thank you for hanging around, and then people leave. But yeah, you need 4,000 hours of watch time in a 365-day period. I'm up to about 100 hours within the last 5 months or so. Maybe I think it's like 120 hours or something. So I don't think I'm going to get monetized this year, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, originally I restarted this channel because I got sick and tired of people saying that it was easy, and especially that for people that are over 40, when most of the people that have millions of views are not over 40. It's still a young person's game, and you have to have stuff that's not slow, not conversational. It has to be highly polished and in people's faces, and making all sorts of false promises and whatnot. And I find these people, the people that do that, are quite vampiric, really. And they've always got something to sell. So they give you a little bit of free information, and then they say, oh, if you want to if you really want to do a deep dive into how to grow on YouTube, pay money to install our AI system and stuff like that, right? And they're using AI, but they've got none of their own ideas, right? It's sort of like they don't know what they're doing, so they get AI to tell them what to do. I think, well, why don't I just tell AI to make me YouTube channels, make me YouTube videos, Like, that's not what YouTube's about. YouTube's about broadcasting yourself. It's about getting your little message out into the world. It's not about trying to deceive people, trying to con people. Yeah. Okay, that's good enough for that. We'll plug the microphone back in. Sounds a lot better. It might not make a whole much of a difference at all at this range, maybe. But I might round this out at at an hour, just to keep things interesting. And I'm just looking up. Public transport to Manato Zoo. So there isn't any. So you've got to drive an hour and 13 minutes from my place, out past Mount Barker, out past, so it's out near Murray Bridge. Crazy. Hello everybody coming in. Welcome aboard. I'm in Adelaide, South Australia. Feel free to drop questions or let me know what you're doing, where you are, what you're up to. Hey Mark, how you going? You finally caught me in a live. Yeah, I was a bit worried about coming in on a bit late, but hey there Jay, how you going? So you caught me in a live as well. So I might start them at this time of night instead. But yeah, so I've got an hour, pretty much 57 minutes and 38 seconds worth of live content. So I'm good. How are you? Yes, I'm good as well. It's currently like 40 degrees Celsius, which is just over 102 Fahrenheit. Best time for me is I'm nocturnal. Ah, okay. But I've got a small USB fan. These are amazing. I got this at Audi for about 30 bucks Australian. So that'd be about 20 bucks US. And it's got a little remote control with it as well. And you just plug it into like a normal Samsung phone cord. It's got like 3 speeds, got a light on it. Good morning, Crystal. How are you going? Okay, so I think I've picked the right time for my live audience to be here, which is good. This is always experimental, so I've got no idea when people are actually going to be on. And it's good for people to be having a chat in the comments as well. So it's good to see everybody enjoying what I'm doing. And I am going to go back to doing videos about Adelaide and the touristy stuff a little bit. Now there are people that do tourist stuff and they get thousands of views, but they've already got like, you know, thousands of subscribers to start with. But the funny thing is there's a whole heap of local YouTubers that will come on to their channel on their video and go, oh, hey, you need to try this area, need to try that area, need to try this area, and stuff like that. And sometimes the people making the YouTube videos will take that on board and go off and visit these other locations, which is great. But the thing is, how do I get the attention of those local YouTubers to come over to my channel? And because right now I'm getting subscribers, but they'll stick around for a day and then they'll unsubscribe. Right? They're not the kind of people that, and I'm not attacking anybody when I say this, they're not the kind of subscribers that I want. Obviously, more the merrier, but I want people who actually enjoy what I'm doing and find what I'm doing informative and all that sort of stuff and funny and whatnot. Now, I've trying to do as much funny stuff, but I also trying to make the videos as short as I can. But um, I'm sort of stuck with trying to get as much watch time as I can. And so the idea is that you have a short video that everybody wants to watch, which is great if you get like thousands of people watching a shorter video. That all adds up with the watch time, which is fantastic. But you need like 10,000 views on a very short video, but not a short video, because the short video, they don't really count towards the 4,000 hours of like watch time. Now, the funny thing is, all the experts are saying that you need to be doing 20-minute videos, and which is great, right? And there are people making a lot of money doing that. But at the same time, how do you keep people watching for the entire length of the video? So that's the challenge, I think. Also need to find somewhere to sit. I think I'd sit and talk, but I also think because of what's going on in the United States, like the rest of the world knows, we all know what's going on in the United States. I don't mean to make this political, but I know that I could probably offer like a lot of comfort and insight. Now, I think sometimes Americans can be very defensive. They don't like people outside of the United States sort of looking in and saying, "Oh, there's a problem here, problem there." So I have to tiptoe around it a little bit. But I think if I did a live, there's a friend I know on here called the Duet Ninja. He's like a black American, and he lives in North Carolina. Fantastic guy. He's married. He's got like, I think 2 or 3 cars. He lives in like a 2-story house. He got like a recording studio inside his house. He does like a lot of voiceover work. He does like DJ stuff for different events and things. So he's well off, really well off. But I watch a lot of his stuff on TikTok. I met him on TikTok. He does YouTube stuff. But he's taught me a lot about like black culture, like racism in America, and how to like dig it out and become a better person and all that sort of stuff. If I was to do a live with him, we could probably talk back and forth about a lot of issues and future directions, like survival guides of like how to, not in like a conspiracy theory way, but how to write to your congressman and ask for changes and just protest against like what's going on, you know. But yeah, I try and avoid like politics on when I'm going live, because people react really badly to it as well. But yeah, like I said previously in the video, I've got a few shifts coming up on the weekend, and I've got work throughout the week. So next week, I think next week's pay should be really, really good. Hopefully this week's pay will be really, really good too, because I'm running pretty low. But yeah, things are pretty unusual. It's pretty scary, but I think the idea is not to be too scared about what's going on. Take each day at a time, like you said in your video, Jay, about maintaining like peace of mind and not overreacting to the situation. You know, finding solutions, building community with people. And like the Duet Ninja, he is a member of Rotary, and he was saying, he goes, "Oh, do you know this woman?" I was like, "No, I don't know this woman." And he was saying she's from Adelaide as well, I've met her, and she's one of these people in Rotary that goes around the world and stuff. And she's like a political activist, and it's like, it gets really, really, really interesting. Thank you for the like on the video as well. Thank you very much for that. Likes are very much appreciated. When I first started this channel, my goal was, and I went in with the wrong attitude, my goal was to prove that YouTube was not on easy mode. See, a lot of people don't realize this, but I've been on YouTube for the last 16 years, but I had a different channel. I was monetized, and then I got demonetized. Thank you once again for the likes. I was monetized, and I probably would have made like $100 a year, right? It was my channel wasn't all that popular. I do have a handful of viral videos on that channel that are still being watched. So I still get about without uploading any videos to that channel, I get about 65 hours of watch time every day. So that's pretty cool, right? But they're the same videos. So it is possible. But when I started the YouTube channel, that other YouTube channel, we didn't have metrics like watch time. Watch time is new, right? And it was 6 years ago that they brought in the 1,000 subscriber requirement and the 4,000 hours of watch time within a 365-day period. And my older channel, it had 600 subscribers, so it got demonetized because it didn't have 1,000 subscribers, so it got kicked out of the thing. If I had the watch time, they would have put me back into the YouTube partnership program with the rules that was reintroduced, that were changed last year. So this was to prove that YouTube is not on easy mode. Plus, there were people saying, "Oh, if you're over 40, it's a lot easier," right? And this was a 60-year-old guy doing it, but he was an outlier, and that's one of the things that sort of annoys me. There are people that are doing really, really well on YouTube, and I wish them the best. I have no problem with their success, but they are not the norm. They are lucky, extremely lucky. People like Dodash, who I really like her motivational videos, but she put in 5 years worth of work before she took off. Now that taking off is not guaranteed. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's just a number. You just got to keep going and it'll happen, it'll happen." But it might not. And it might not. You may stay at 1,000, 2,000 subscribers. I may never get to 1,000 subscribers. But that's not me being negative. That's me being realistic. So it's my hope, obviously, to get monetized. And it's funny, like, I do want to get monetized. I want to prove that, or I want to disprove myself. When I say it's not possible, I want it to be possible. My focus isn't on the money itself. It'd be good. I like the freedom that YouTube often brings. But if you're only earning like $100 a year, that doesn't pay an internet bill. So, and I've just lost everybody. Just lost everybody because people prefer the false hope that this is somehow going to be a gravy train, and it's not. You need to sit at a desk. You need to, thanks, Mark. But you need to sit at a desk, and you need to either have a faceless channel where you just put images up and you do like a voiceover, or you sit at a desk where in a darkened room where you put the lighting. Yeah, it's not easy at all. So you have your darkened room, you have your desk, you have like very thin lighting, thin lights, or those fairy lights around the wall, and you'll notice a lot of the so-called informational expert channels. That's what they do. They have a desk so they can look like they're professional and whatever. Their backgrounds are usually like, depending on what they're talking about. So if they're talking about, say, Star Wars, right, they'll have like a bookshelf behind them with a whole heap of Star Wars figures. Right, that's their studio, right? They're probably not even fans of Star Wars, and if you watch their content, a lot of them really aren't. They're just like trying to push like a right-wing agenda, but under the guise of Star Wars and stuff. But you know, it's one of those things. It's not easy. I've spent on for 6 years. I make videos infrequently as mine take a lot of work. Yeah, and I enjoy your content because you can sit down and learn something. Mine are easy to shoot, mostly, right? What people don't realize is I've got a rough idea of what I want to say. So it's not about me going and paying my rent. It's about the other stuff that I'm doing. But just walking and talking is easy for me, but also the editing, I do need to work on the editing a lot more. I do love editing, and it's trying to be succinct and keep a tight message to keep people's interest for the entire video. Like, your content is really good, Mark. It's informative, and some of that stuff hits close to home for me because I had an encounter with Robert Wagner in Salisbury at one of the soup kitchens, and whew, that was when he was burying the Smurfs, so to speak, and I didn't know what he was on about, but now I know, and now that was what he was calling the blue barrels, and yeah, so that's one of those things. Like, I don't like the true crime stuff, and I'm not attacking you or anything like that. I'm not really a fan of that stuff, but the way you present the stuff is interesting. It's like, oh, okay. Plus, they're local areas and environments. I think, oh, okay, so the Beaumont children could happen to anybody. You go down to you go down to Glenelg with your kids, and then for a day at the beach, and then all of a sudden your kids aren't there. These days, I think people are a little bit more aware of the potential dangers of those things, and we have phone technology and stuff like that. So I think we're a lot safer than what we ever were, but people still go missing and stuff all the time. Whew. Yeah, it's not, and I find, but you're respectful. You're respectful for the victims, and you're not editorializing as well. So you're not saying, "Oh, this guy's an absolute scumbag," rah rah. You are saying, "Look, this is what he did," and you just keep it to the facts. And yeah, it's quite strange. The funny thing was that recently I listened to a podcast with it was on Mark Maron, the WTF. He did an interview with the guy that directed the Snowtown movie, and he was talking about how he had to get the character, not Robert Wagner, but I think, is it John Bunting? The other one of the other ones, the guy who had to act that character, and the actor wanted to play him like to get into the mind of a serial killer and stuff like that, but the director said no. These guys were sociable. These guys were, they could be sort of relatively normal and then twist, and then or one of them could act. He could fit in, he could socialise. And then when that switch was flipped, that's when they didn't want to play games anymore, and that was it. But yeah, I recorded a TikTok video where I talked about that. Someone said, "Oh, what's the most? Oh, have you ever encountered somebody that has killed somebody?" And I went, and then that's when I tell the story. But yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for coming in and having a chat. I know people are busy and this is fairly late at night and things like that. I do want to go around to more Adelaide, do more Adelaide stuff, bit more Adelaide focused, more informative stuff. I'm going to start watching the touristy videos and highlight some of the stuff that they were highlighting, but like in a different format. They gloss over a lot of stuff that a local probably wouldn't, and I want to try and hone in on that stuff. I want to do a video about the O-Bahn because somebody asked about the O-Bahn. But I've got this weird thing with my channel where people will, like, I'll get a subscriber and then I'll lose a subscriber. And it'll just go up and down, like just by the one subscriber. And you just think, what is going on? But I also know that I always enjoy your videos as you are always articulate, and I love to see my own city. I try to be articulate. I've probably recorded the video about 5 times before I come up with like the final thing. I've just started editing out the uncertainty. Like that little pause is me trying to find the next word to say. But and there's a lot of ums and ahs and stuff that I should really cut out, but I think that it sort of adds to the realness of it all. And I try and speak with an international audience in mind as well. So I try to avoid a lot of the ocarisms and the Adelaide slang. I was talking about in one of the videos, the last one, there was a Chinese guy that I met on an app called Rednote, and that's the Chinese. There's a Chinese version of TikTok, but this is slightly different. It's a bit more like Instagram. But all the Americans on TikTok, when they banned TikTok, went to Rednote. So I went to Rednote to sort of ease the transition for one of my friends over on TikTok. And then I started meeting Chinese Adelaide locals. And this guy wanted to learn, he said he was worried about his English. Now, if you listen to him, he can be understood, but he wants to sound a bit more like a native English speaker. And sometimes he doesn't understand certain words when people, like the way we speak. So instead of saying, how are you going? Or how are you in like correct English, we'll say, how are you? How you going? And that sort of rough slang ocarism kind of speech, he had trouble. And I said, look, and I just went through a few sentences, and you also had trouble trying to pronounce the word town. So I break that down to him and said, well, you can say towel. And he goes, yeah. I said, well, you just put an N on the end of it. It's towel, town. And I got him to repeat it over and over again. And it only took like 2 minutes, but he got it. But the people that were trying to teach him English weren't sort of doing it properly. So within an hour of me talking to me, he was sort of overwhelmed because it's like, oh, okay. And he's figured out that he has to move his tongue and shape of his mouth different for English. But what he said was in the Asian languages, it's usually fairly flat. And I didn't know that. Also, I learnt that certain sounds, like mk, the K sound in mk and another K sound together, it's like, say for example, McLaren Vale. It's McLaren. So there's a double C, and we'll pronounce the double C, McLaren. But then we might drop the second C. It's like McLaren. So there's all sorts of things like that I learned. It's like, okay. So we like, out of sort of laziness, we're not, speaking like properly and stuff like that. But yeah, it's very interesting learning English and stuff like that, because like you're teaching English, but you're actually learning English, because like, well, why do we say it like this? So I also explained to him that the British will drop the letter H at the start of like a lot of their words, but we'll do it too. So how are you becomes how are you, or how are you. So it's an ow rather than a how. Strange stuff like that. But the stuff that we don't, because we're fluent in a language, we don't question it. But it's not just language. It's like we'll adapt things to our own way of doing things. And I thought a lot of the contractions, because we will contract a sentence, but we can elongate the vowel sounds. But also in English, when we learn the alphabet in primary school, we don't learn ABC, we learn up, but, k. It's like up, but, k, d, e, f, g, h, I, j, k, l, m, n, o, p, q, u, no, q, r, q, r, s, no, it's q, r, q, r, e, s, t, a, v, the, w, x, y, z. Right, it's that's those sort of sounds, and then we learn the ABCs as the capitals. But then each vowel sound in English has 3 sounds. So the letter A is A, it's A, or at, and so on and so forth. And just like, and if you didn't, now the problem with the English language when it's written, you've got no idea which A sound that is. Now if you put an E on the end of a word, it can change the sound of the other vowels, or of any other vowel in the sentence, in the word. So my name is Shane, that's an A because there's an E at the end. If there's no E, it would be Shan. So it's crazy. But like, we understand some of the rules of English because we're sort of taught some of the rules of English, but they're not they're not universally taught. We don't, in say Vietnamese, they've got these little squiggles, or they're called accents, over the top of the words, right? Now in some European languages, they have umlauts on the top of some vowels to let you know that you pronounce both. No, you pronounce if there's 2 vowels together and there's an umlaut on the first vowel, it means you pronounce both sounds of the vowel rather than combining it. So the word, say, through, that's OU. But if you put an umlaut on the O, it's thro, throau. It'd be like, it just changes the sound. In Vietnamese, they have, like, because it's a tonal language, you put the squiggles across the top, and it changes the vowel sound, the tone of the vowel. Whereas I think the English language actually needs those, because when you hear people that have learnt English just by reading the words, they don't know which vowel sound. So they might, instead of saying audience, see that's AU, right? Audience, but there's a silent R in there. There's no R in audience, but we pronounce it. So it's or. AU becomes or. So many Asian people will say that's audience. So they'll say audience rather than audience. And it's all because like nobody's actually stopped and said, this is the way we say it. But it has to be done in a way that's not offensive. Just say, look, this is the way we say things. But yeah. So it's 11:30. I need to go to a certain little room to drain something, and I'm going to call it quits here. I hope everybody had a fantastic night. Thank you for listening to me dribble on, and thank you for all the likes. I've got 7 likes on this video, which is amazing, and so it's nearly like an hour and a half that I've been here, so I know what time to start. Thank you, Mark, and thank you for your kind words, and keep doing your videos. Your attention to detail is incredible, and the fact that you go out and to those locations and things at your own expense and at your own risk as well is mind-blowing as well. So thank you very much, and please watch an entire playlist of mine if you want to. Oh yeah, by the way, before I leave, I've got a video, 2 videos, one about both about the botanical gardens. One of them is 19 minutes long, and I'm not expecting you to watch the whole thing, but towards the end of that video, there's footage of ibis, or the bin chickens, in the trees, and they're nesting, and they sound like ducks. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Anyway, catch up with you next time, and I'll see you in one of my next videos. Bye for now. Yes, and yes.